On April 10, 2006, a passenger plane landed on the shore of the Gulf of Mexico in the town of Ciudad del Carmen. Moments later, special forces stormed the aircraft and found more than 5 tons of cocaine on board, worth a total of $100 million. However, the documents concerning the purchase of the plane were of even greater value. It turned out that the aircraft had been purchased by the Sinaloa drug cartel through the American bank Wachovia. The authorities' investigation revealed that, in cooperation with the bank, the drug cartel had laundered $380 billion. For comparison, this is a third of Mexico's official economy. Do you know what happened to the bank for this? A fine of 2 of its profits. And this is just one of many cases. With the stolen money, criminals buy luxury cars, relax on yachts, and invest in elite real estate. And all of this is thanks to a special art. It involves not only banks but also major auction houses, cryptocurrency exchanges, and even popular video games. Criminals around the world launder about $4 trillion annually, and most of this money remains in the shadows. Why is money laundering the pinnacle of organized crime, without which the modern economy cannot be imagined? And what schemes do criminals use to spend their ill-gotten gains? Let us dive into this. The life of criminals is tough. Not only is illegal earning a risky business, but spending the stolen money is also very difficult. Money laundering is the final point, without which committing many crimes would lose its meaning. This conclusion was made by Al Capone in the early 20th century, earning huge sums $60 million a year from the illegal sale of alcohol. The mafia leader could not make large purchases. He was closely watched by the police. Back then, the money was laundered in both the literal and figurative sense. And you know what? This method has never become outdated. Any money laundering scheme consists of 3 stages. First, the criminal money must somehow enter the legal sphere. This stage is the most dangerous because it is the easiest to detect the criminal at this point. This is why money mules are used. People with low incomes who transfer criminal money to foreign bank accounts for a reward. Where do mules come from? They are recruited through forums and dating sites by people who urgently need money. The main thing is that the mule has a clean banking history. Dummy companies transfer dirty money to the mule's account, which is then sent to the necessary bank. It's worth mentioning that this work is low-paid and extremely risky. Fines can amount to tens of thousands of dollars. And the prospect of spending several years behind bars is very real. Because mules often get caught, criminals sometimes hide the money for better times, intending to use it years later. At the second stage, the story of the money becomes even more complicated. It constantly flows from one state to another, with one goal: to hide the true source of its origin. To conceal the real owners of the money, offshore companies are often used, those opened in special zones with favorable taxes and favorable conditions for business. Fake organizations carry out equally fake transactions. There are no real goods or services involved, and if something is sold, it is at heavily discounted, nominal prices. The last stage is integration, the reason why everything started. Cleaned money is deposited into accounts from which it can be spent in the legal economy. Yachts, jewelry, and elite real estate are purchased. Often, the money is taken to another country. It's understandable the reach of domestic justice is much shorter there. In real life, these stages merge, are detailed, and repeat until the money is fully laundered. The art market is very useful for this. Transactions with paintings often have dubious pricing, and buyers often remain anonymous. The evidence is not far to seek. When, in the early 2010s, the Mexican government passed a law requiring the disclosure of buyer identities, art sales dropped by 70%. The ease of transport makes painting an excellent laundering tool. There is a known story where a Brazilian banker sent the painting Hannibal to the United States, declaring its price as $100. Customs officers let the painting pass without questions. However, the banker was eventually found, the painting was confiscated, and it was auctioned off for $13 million. Before our very eyes, money laundering through art is reaching a new level thanks to NFTs. Celebrities invest in NFTs, and school children are making hundreds of thousands of dollars from this new technology. What's the secret? NFs are unique digital signatures attached to any media file. Thanks to this technology, the buyer can rightfully claim that the picture or video belongs to them. And for a unique token, any amount can be paid. Can you feel the potential for laundering here? In 2021, Artist People as token was sold for $69 million. What's so special about it? Well, just take a look at his work. It consists of 5.0 pictures the artist created over 5.0 days. But it's not a canvas and oil painting, it as a JPEG file. What adds fuel to the fire is that all NF transactions are almost unregulated and in text, meaning digital art becomes a tool for shadow money transfers. The simplest scheme looks like this. A piece of work from any artist's website is copied and uploaded to an NF platform. A token is assigned to the image, and then it's bought by the right company for the necessary amount. However, the NF market wouldn't have emerged without cryptocurrencies. And while cryptocurrency hasn't yet reached the success of Wachovia Bank, it has great potential. This August, through one of the cross-chain bridges, a technology allowing coins to be exchanged between different blockchains, criminals laundered more than $500 million. And finding the origins is nearly impossible because, unlike the fiat banking sector, cryptocurrency operates in deep shadow. But that doesn't mean cryptocurrencies give criminals a free pass. To combat money laundering, banks and other financial institutions have adopted the KIC principle: know your customer. You can open an account in any bank today without a passport. In fact, you can even exchange currency without it. And when withdrawing cryptocurrency on any major exchange, you will have to confirm your identity with a photo and document. So don't think anti-money laundering doesn't concern regular people. Banks regularly pay huge fines for violating standards. Many of them won't release more than $10,000 at once without supporting documents. And in Russia 44 halves, all cash transactions amounting to 1 million rubles or more are subject to mandatory control by Rosfinantor. Often, restrictions complicate life, not for criminals, but for ordinary people. Financial institutions overcompensate and require constant confirmation of your income sources. And as economists know, these are transactional costs. So even if you may not an oligarch, make it a habit to keep all your financial documents, from income certificates to for sale contracts, in a separate folder. Trust me, it will definitely come in handy. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to the subscribers on Boosty for supporting my work. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will try to answer them all. See you in the next video.